Can we not kill people's fun whenever they're doing something? You on the internet and you see a brown-skinned girl challenge. You don't have to make a light-skinned girl challenge. You don't have to make a brown-skinned boy challenge. Yes, light-skinned people are black and they deserve to have their own moments on the internet, but let the brown-skinned girls have something. And dudes, every time women do something, we ain't got to jump in on it and have our own moment. Just let them live. Black Coffee starts now. Welcome to BET's Black Coffee, where we talk news, politics, entertainment, and black culture live every day at 10 a.m. Eastern on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm Mark Lamont Hill, and I am joined by Gia Peppers and Jameer Pond. Made his way back into the building.
Why do you always have to start off good?
I mean, I changed the alarm codes and everything, and
wow, that's
crazy.
No, it's amazing.
I bought you a hat.
I admire your resilience.
That's crazy. I ain't never buying you a hat.
Did y'all have a good weekend?
We did. I had a great weekend. I went to Uncle Bobby's.
That is true.
That's cute. That's
Mark
cute.
has a great bookstore in Philly, y'all. If y'all haven't gone yet, y'all need to
Not
go.
what I heard.
Uncle Bobby's. But the vibe in there is so cool. I was down there with my little sister and then two of my really close friends, and we was like, let's go through. And so we did.
And they came through, and they bought things, and they ain't asked for no discount.
Yep.
Oh, that ain't the store for me.
That's lesson number one. That's lesson number one when you go to black business. Like, 'cause people always be like, well, can you give me the hookup? Can you give me 50% off? Can you give me I mean, I hooked you up.
Yeah,
Gave
me a few
but
shirts.
It's the idea of not asking.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no, but she came through and showed love, supported the store. You know what I mean? I was gonna teach you how to make some coffee drinks, but it was so hot. It was like
I know.
like
It was
1,000
gross
drinks.
outside.
Yeah, it really
but
was.
it felt good in the store.
Oh, yeah, we got
It's
air
just-
and everything.
Yeah. But my friends
got
is ready
air?
to go.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
went
this is
to
a
the
store
pool.
store.
It's a store.
Okay, so I gotta make sure I check out Uncle Bobby's.
Yeah, come down to Philly, man. And, you know, I always tell people they can go online, you know, UncleBobby's.com and buy our T-shirts and other cool stuff. But I want people to go in there and have the experience because it's a lot of fun.
It's beautiful. It's a great vibe. Like, it feels like old, like, 90s type of nostalgia in there where it's like everybody's super smart and black and woke, but also lit and cool.
Okay.
pretty much-
So it's a Love Jones, basically.
Yes,
Got
so
you.
dope in
It's like black
there.
coffee.
Ah! We are 90s and lit and woke.
There you go. All right.
And
Well, today's
cool.
question of the day is about the film that everybody is buzzing about. It's the live-action remake of The Lion King. Now, we want to know this. How much did Beyonce influence your decision to see the movie? Now, we want to know if, like, you would have seen the movie anyway, whether she's in it or not. Did knowing that she's playing Nala make you really buy the ticket? Were you on the fence? Send us in your comments and we'll read them all throughout the show. Can we talk about A$AP Rocky a little bit?
Okay. What you
yeah,
want to say?
Yeah.
So,
Free my guy.
I have a few thoughts on A$AP Rocky. The first thing is what we said last week, and I think it needs to be reiterated though, right? Which is we need to free him.
Right.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe in the prison and incarceration as the way to solve our social problems anyway. But even if I did, what I saw in that video suggests to me that he was doing his best to avoid a problem,
Right.
doing his best to avoid trouble, and trouble
Kept following him, literally kept following him. Like, they were harassing him. I think there has to be some accountability on their part, too. Like, he is a person, a human being, rapper or not, you know, celebrity or not. He is a human being that has asked you to stop following him several times. At some point, when does self-defense come into play? Because he literally said, now maybe he didn't have to body slam the dude. He could just, you know, give him a little Nipsey slap, rest in peace, Nipsey. But there could have been a moment where they actually just realized that they are bothering another person. And it's just, they got him out of his character. Like, we haven't seen A$AP fight in a while. I mean, I've never seen him fight. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But I do know that A$AP isn't usually the one to, like, be hot-headed. And so it was weird to see that come out of him.
I saw some tweets. Jada Pinkett and G-Eazy also spoke about it because G-Eazy caught a case out there. I think he had some drugs.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was assault as
yeah,
well.
Assault, contraband, whatever. He got like a slap on the wrist.
Right.
We see this video, we see the whole video. If you saw the whole video online, you see these dudes following them. They had A$AP and his crew had a bodyguard. The bodyguard didn't even act up. He was just telling them like, yo, y'all gotta stop.
You got
like,
one more time.
You got one more time before and even then, like after 5, 6, 7 minutes, A$AP is forced to defend himself after being clearly targeted and ran up on, and he gets thrown in jail. And he can't come home.
Right. So that's step one. Then step two was the backlash, because there's 3 parts to this. Step two is the public response, which was how dare you ask for help or have people ask for help when you were the one talking about you don't care about Ferguson, you're the one who said you don't care about what's going on in social justice, that you know.
You live in Soho and Calabasas, you can't relate.
Right, you got, was it Jiggy Threads? What was he saying? Basically like, right, he's like, I'm balling and I can't worry about what's happening in the streets, that's not my reality. And some people say, well, leave him there. That's also not the right.
Nah, I don't think that's
like
the
that's
right.
right.
I don't think that's right just based off the civil human rights that we should have. Like, you could agree with him, you can't, you don't have to agree with him, whatever, but he shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
Like, cause that wasn't a situation that kind of warranted that. If that was you, even if you stood up for black people, which you do all over the world, and they had you in there, that don't make it right.
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 Even we had a Swedish artist on here.
Yeah,
Yes, we did. Nicole Buss.
Nicole Buss, who was telling
Yeah.
us how racist it is in that part of the world. And so I feel like what we're seeing is another form of racism where they're taking this young black man who looks like a rapper, who looks like, you know, he is of the culture. Just because he defended himself does not mean he deserves extra punishment. And so now we're sitting here as a country kind of helpless. And even though he's not a perfect person or even a person who believes that he's
Nobody is.
Right. But even though he doesn't even take on the role model responsibility, he doesn't necessarily use his platform responsibly, this is like a justice, there's an injustice for one, there's an injustice for all type of situation.
Exactly.
Like all of us could go over there and have people following us.
Or anywhere, which was Nicole's point, because you could go where she is, because she's Dutch, right? You could go to Amsterdam, you can see that, you can see it in Switzerland, you can see it in Sweden, you can see it in France, you can see it in Germany. It's everywhere, and we have to be outraged, and there's no such thing as a perfect victim. Too often, I think in our social justice movements, you know, we find the kid with the 4.0 who gets shot. We find the kid who was on, next week he was going to college to get shot. We make sure the kid's heterosexual, cisgender. We find all these things, and it's like, I want to save the kid that's also who is suspended from school and has weed in her bag, and who's trans, and you know, all these things that we often marginalize or stigmatize, they deserve to be fought for. Their humanity is the same as everybody else's, right? So we got to battle for everybody. And yeah, I get how annoying it is for somebody like ASAP to say all these things against the social justice movement and then need social justice movement at this critical moment. Yeah. But that's the life we chose. Yeah. We have to fight and advocate for him, and when he comes home, I think he'll have a different opinion.
Now that will be the slap in the face. If he comes home and says, I still don't care though. I mean, yeah, justice reform, jail, prison, I don't care. That would be the slap in the face. And I really hope that this changed his whole entire perspective in the same way that, I mean, Meek always had trouble with the justice system and prison, in and out of prison in Philly, so he understood it differently. He comes from a different lifestyle, so he knows how important it is for him to speak up because he's been in prisons with people who can't speak up. He understood that. I hope ASAP finally understands why his platform is so important. Yeah. And so we'll see.
I think oftentimes you have to go through those experiences, right? Because some people just can't see why I should march, why I should move, why I should try to make change on face value without it having to happen to them.
Absolutely.
So if you have that happen to you, especially, he's not even in a United States prison.
Right.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Right.
But I could probably guess they ain't playing spades and dominoes and just chilling every day. Like,
there was excrement. They were talking about, I mean, all kinds of things that are inhumane. And again, this happens in American prisons as well.
Definitely.
We are the most incarcerating nation in the history, in human history, in fact. 2.3 million people incarcerated right now. We make up 25% of the world's prison population right now. So I get, you know, wherever you are, you should be outraged by this. Here's the third step, though. Donald Trump last week tweeted that he was going to do everything he could to get him out, more or less.
He was going to tweet again.
Yes. Then Donald Trump says,
I'm sending another tweet.
My friend Kanye West,
that's his friend,
reached out to me to talk about A$AP Rocky. And I assured him that I would do what I needed to do to get him home or to try to get him home. And then Trump tweeted that he reached out to the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And that he vouched for him. He spoke for his character. He vouched for it. He gave him Trump's word as a way of kind of helping him get out of prison. Couple things with that. One, I'm not sure why Donald Trump thinks his word is persuasive.
You don't think?
Do you know what I mean? Like if Donald Trump calls me and says, look, I can speak for him. I trust his character. He's a good person. Nothing Donald Trump has done his entire life tells me that he's a good judge of character or cares about character.
Right.
So that wouldn't make, that's not a persuasive argument for me. The second thing, is the Swedish Prime Minister, after talking to him, didn't seem persuaded by it at all.
I heard he was like, actually, stay longer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice try.
Right. Exactly.
Click.
Exactly.
Right.
Trump's vouch doesn't mean nothing. Despite Trump vowing to personally vouch for ASAP, the Prime Minister said, quote, "Swedish judicial systems are independent and everyone is equal before the law, including tourists." So essentially he was saying, Trump, your phone call ain't mean shit.
It didn't mean nothing.
So that's a blow for Trump, because Trump's ego is all about saying, I freed you, I got you home, what are you gonna do for me? But I think the most interesting part is the why question. Why would Donald Trump, with kids in cages south of the border, with all the things happening in the United States, in the midst of this racial firestorm that's going on in this country, why would Donald Trump take to Twitter to save one rapper? I'm not saying that rapper's not worth saving, but I'm just wondering why y'all think Donald Trump would do that now?
Strategy. He wants to, first of all, he understands that, like, we as a community have to say something about that. He understands how powerful the hip hop community is, so he can always have that one example to say, well, I tried to save y'all's friend ASAP. I did. I did. I don't hate black people. I tried to free one.
Right.
And so that was his move in a way to almost say, you know, yes, I told everyone to go back to their countries, but when y'all needed me the most, I tried. I made that phone call. I tweeted. And it's like, as much as his team and his PR people may want to actually think that we'll buy into that, we're not done. Like, we're still side-eyeing, like, oh, great.
Well, look, let me say, all of us are not. I think people who don't pay attention and see that, just for that example, they'll go, well, he can't be that bad of a guy.
See?
You know?
Right.
It's a persuasive tool, because I can get.
Who's that person? Like, who's the person that only saw that and didn't see anything else Donald Trump did?
Plenty of. Are you kidding me?
You just look at Donald Trump
People.
timeline on any day.
Plenty of people, bro.
ASAP, racist, ASAP, racist.
ASAP, yo, but to some people that might trump everything, because that's something that they can identify with. Like, what I know from just like being younger and identifying with politics, I'm saying when I was younger. I'm not being ageist.
I thought you were saying because you're younger than me.
No.
You?
I know.
That's what it sounded like. You're old as shit.
No,
so.
I'm saying when I was younger and not being able to understand fully, like, about politics, you gravitate to what you see and what you hear.
I got you.
If I'm hearing that Bill Clinton is super cool, he plays
the saxophone.
Play the saxophone, hang out in Harlem all the time. Yeah, I'm be like, yo, Bill Clinton's dope. But then when you rewind and find more lines, you understand that, okay, there's
that pesky crime bill and 3 strikes bill and Prison Litigation Reform Act.
Right. So there are things that are going to just like stand out amongst certain people. And if he throws that and he was able to get ASAP out of jail, I'm sure to some people that would have been like, well, you know, he got ASAP out of jail. I should vote for him.
And then there's the Kim and Kanye. They again were trying to reach out to Trump. I feel like they did have good intentions, especially, you know, Kanye and ASAP have worked together for a while, good music, you know, their different collaborations, they work together. So I'm sure he actually wanted him to help here.
Of course.
But then you have people who just don't see them as genuine. You see them as kind of like the people that are always looking to insert their names into big stories. So it's also like that argument. I really think Kim is actually trying to help.
I think so too.
Kanye, not sure. Kanye, I'm still worried about. But everybody else, I feel like Kim really was trying to help here.
Yeah, the jury's out for me on Kim and Kanye. I don't know what they're doing. I think Kim is doing good work.
Yeah.
I don't agree with all of it in terms of strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I trust and believe in her intention.
Yes.
And I think that Kanye, with regard to this issue, also probably has good intention. If my homie was locked up, if y'all was locked up in Sweden, and I needed to call Donald Trump, right?
We had to figure it out.
Yeah, I'd be like, Mr. President, I need you to come get G out. Like,
right.
This has to happen. And that would just be the move.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you got out, I would totally, you know, then make a move to Mike Pence for you later.
Wow, that's crazy.
You can't do both.
Wow.
You can't do both at the same time.
Wow.
It's
just gonna leave a young black man
in a Swedish prison.
Wow.
Not on purpose. I want you to come home. I'm just saying.
Oh, you heard it?
She came to the
really
bookstore.
bad.
She came to the bookstore.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But there's another issue with Donald.
Okay.
Oh, I know what that pitch means.
Wait, no, can I just ask y'all a question before we move on?
Yeah, a real one.
If Trump did get ASAP out, what do you think that would look like? Do you think that
It's a tour.
Right. Do you think that ASAP now is like, I mean, in some ways,
He's like
he is.
Meek.
No, I'm talking about in his relationship to Trump.
Like, is he going to be performing at his stops?
Does he owe him anything?
He kind of
So
owes.
this is how I imagined it this weekend, because I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I think he comes home.
Yeah.
I think he asked Trump asked him to perform. ASAP says no. And then Trump tweets how ungrateful ASAP is.
And send him
I
back.
should have left your black ass in a prison.
Probably.
And then it galvanizes Trump's base, and ASAP looks cool for not
Doing it.
For not
Oh.
doing it. That's how I imagine it.
Does he
playing
say
out.
thank you?
I think you say thank
Yeah,
you.
you say thank you. You
If
tweet.
you get me out of
Definitely-
prison, you get a thank you.
Yeah, you dap him up.
You might even get a handshake.
Yeah, I'd dap him up.
But that's all.
He got me out of sweetest prison.
Dapping is a lot. You get a firm. You'd get a mortgage broker
You
handshake.
get Mr. President?
You get straight up and down.
You don't embrace him? He was in sweetest prison.
You get this.
You might get a
You
nice
get
little,
this,
you might
sir.
get a nice little dap.
No dap.
Get me out of sweetest prison.
And you know why you don't get that? Because Donald Trump is racist.
That is true.
And I got proof about that.
Yes.
So the backlash continues right now. See how I did that? I pivoted.
I
Despite
like
the,
that.
The backlash right now continues.
I like that. Good pivot.
Doing my best. No. Last week, though, Donald Trump tweeted telling the 4 freshman congresswomen of color to, quote, go back to their country. And he keeps tweeting. That wasn't enough. On Sunday, he doubles down. He says, I don't believe the 4 congresswomen are capable of loving our country. They should apologize to America and Israel for the horrible, hateful things they have said. They are destroying the Democratic Party, but are weak and insecure people who can never destroy our great nation. Of course, the public had outcry. People responded. They challenged Donald Trump for attacking these women. And according to the Washington Post, people in Trump's own camp, I'm talking about 26 Trump aides they spoke to, lawmakers, advisors, they all spoke under the condition of anonymity, of course, cowards. And what they said is they were caught off guard by Trump's tweets. They didn't like it, but they won't publicly condemn them. This, for me, is part of the problem.
Yeah.
There are too many people in Trump's own party who will not condemn this. He stood at a rally on Thursday.
Quite literally.
Or Wednesday going into Thursday, right? Where people were in the background saying, send her home, talking about Ilhan Omar. And he didn't do anything. He paused so that they could do it.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't say it. It doesn't matter.
You should have said, hey, guys, that's a little far.
Yeah.
Because there are moments to do that. John McCain,
Right.
in 2008, was standing somewhere, and the woman started talking bad about Barack
Right.
Obama, saying things that were Islamophobic, etc. He stopped her and said, he's a good man who I have significant disagreement with.
That's it.
That's it.
No need to do the extra
Yeah.
mile.
Right.
You don't
Because
do the
this-
Hulkamania thing and let the crowd roar. Like, you don't do that.
That's what he did.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
Because that's where it gets dangerous. That's where it gets mobbish. That's where the racism is able to really expand. And we see these viral moments where people can retweet and be like, see, told y'all, everyone wants to send her back. And it's like, no, these are 4 young women who are fighting for the morality of our country. Like, quite literally trying to bring back some sort of goodness to America. Because right now, we are in a dark, dark place. And I feel like even Donald Trump supporters can say there's a really, heavy racial tension right now. And at the end of the day, this is not a game. So y'all inciting it and letting it continue just shows that he's really not made to lead. Like, we know that, but he continues to affirm that every week, literally every week.
I'm not surprised.
Ever.
Because, I mean, this country has had a long-standing, I don't want to say even feud, just like they don't acknowledge women, number one, especially women of color. So I feel like the rhetoric is basically, you know how people have, you have in-house talk. Within the community, we talk about things, and this is all in-house talk for white supremacists that has now spewed out. So when you get a chance to send her back or send her home, it doesn't surprise me because he's speaking directly to those people who have always said that in their jobs, in their homes, in their churches. We don't want these kind of people to take over the country. We don't want these type of people here. These are the type of people who are chanting that. So when I hear that, I'm not surprised. What I am proud of is the resilience of the 4 women.
The squad.
The squad
Heavy, boy.
who stood up there, didn't even, sit up there poised, confident, shoulders up, nice posture, and say, you know what? This is what this country is.
Yep.
This is who he is because he's a reflection of what's going on. This is not new, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
This is America's lineage.
it's just such a fascinating thing because you're right. I agree with what you said. It's America's lineage, but it's also a certain reading of our lineage.
Oh yeah.
So
oh yeah.
because the only people who really could say, you know what, you've come to our country and destroyed it, go back to where you came from, are indigenous people.
Quite literally.
They could very easily
They
say
could
that.
very easily say that.
Right.
Yeah.
And to Negroes
destroyed.
in America, black folk in America, we could say, well, we'll go back where we came from. We ain't asked to come.
No.
Nigga, you was driving. You brought us. Right? So it's a bizarre narrative.
Yeah.
Of the 4 women, AOC is from the Bronx.
Right.
So going back where you come, I'll admit going from Manhattan to the Bronx is a journey.
All right, look.
West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
It's
Right. The 6s take a minute. But,
I mean, especially on the weekends.
but
Yes.
it's still America.
It's still
Still
here.
America.
And if you say, well, she's of Puerto Rican descent, that's still America.
Still America. Still America.
You thought he would have learned it last year.
Nope.
When he was throwing paper towels in the crowd?
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Rashida Tlaib, right? She is from Detroit.
That's about as American as you can get. They build cars.
Right. So you can say, well, her parents are Palestinian, but Trump's parents and grandparents are from somewhere too. Everybody's parents and grandparents are somewhere. So go back where you came from.
Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Presley.
Ayanna's from Massachusetts.
Literally Boston.
And a descendant of slaves.
Literally.
A descendant of slaves.
Yeah.
So you gotta go, you talk about hundreds of years they've been here longer than Trump and them.
My favorite part of that press conference was Ayanna Presley standing up there and saying, "Do not let this distract you from the real issues, the immigration, literally tragedies that are happening." And we saw the photo of the man floating in the water and his daughter crying, like the people who are being raped at the border and being held
conditions,
hostage.
like, it's
the
disgusting.
conditions are inhumane. She's like, y'all. Racism has always been a distraction from the work that we have to do. And I agree with her there. And Nikki Giovanni also says that. Toni Morrison, a lot of really great black writers always say, like, this is just a distraction.
Right.
We need to continue to work at what we need to work at. We need to continue to learn about our local, politicians. At the end of the day, we have to figure out how we can use our voices to change every level of government so then the next people, our children, and hopefully in the next term, we can start to better the things. Because what we're looking at, this doesn't even feel real. Like, it feels like a villain is running the country and like
It's like Scar
Batman
is
is
running
supposed to
it.
save us.
Exactly.
Like Scar,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, and it's crazy. I want to say one more thing before we talk more about Scar, because we got some Lion King. Good news, bright news for y'all out here.
Segue.
It's a certain kind of nation we live in where only certain voices can say something's wrong with the country. So, because go back where you came from and love it or leave it, which is the narrative, is a narrative that's only reserved for people of color.
Right.
So Donald Trump's whole campaign was make America great again.
Yeah.
Meaning that America's not great.
Or, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, forget about the nostalgia. Obviously, whatever moment he's
Wasn't
talking
great
about.
for us.
Well, never great for us.
Never great.
It never was great. But if you're saying America's not great now and needs to be great again, you're criticizing America and saying something's wrong with America.
Yeah.
But when black folks say something's wrong with America, they say love it or leave it.
Right.
When the moral majority came in the 80s and said, you know, we're losing religion, we need religion in school because America's losing its values, they were saying something's wrong with America.
Right.
They voted him into office. Ronald Reagan became president from 1980 to 1988, and Bush again 88 92, based on some of these values. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Tea Party said we're fiscally irresponsible. We're throwing the country away. Money, immigration, we're losing our country.
Right.
Something's wrong with America.
Right.
Yeah.
But when Martin Luther King said something's wrong with America, when
Right.
Malcolm X said something wrong with America, when Angela Davis said something wrong with America, when AOC or Ilhan Omar said something wrong with America, when Black Lives Matter said something wrong with America, now, well, y'all should leave America. No, we built America.
Yeah, because we
For
have
free.
For free.
For free, because we have no right to say it because we're not from here. So if we don't like it, take your ass
Right.
And
back.
they
Because we're
aren't
not
from
real
here
Americans.
Because we're not
either.
real Americans, right?
They're not from here either.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it's ironic because you think Trump, who has made a life of marrying people who ain't from here,
Woo!
he ain't met an immigrant he don't love. So,
Pick them gems
you
up.
know what I'm saying? But when it's us,
Hold them.
it's something else. But that's a whole other conversation. Let's talk about the Lion King.
Okay, all right.
I need to calm down.
Decompress.
I need to
Yeah,
decompress.
yeah.
Because, and I think we had a great talk, and we're going to continue that probably, later.
On
But
the
I do
refill.
think we did have a nice little nostalgic moment this weekend as we welcomed in the live action remake of The Lion King, starring literally so many people. Beyonce obviously played the older Nala, but you also had Donald Glover, you had Alfre Woodard, you had all these, Chiwetel Ejiofor, all these incredible people who are literally bringing back one of the greatest stories of Disney Disney history, I say.
Agreed.
So there's a clip actually of Alfre Woodard talking about how no one, like the people in her life, didn't care about what she was doing until then. I think it's so cute. Let's watch it a little. Let's watch a little bit.
They announced this, and then there was a long time before, the world was excited that you were cast. Everybody was so happy. People from my past, they never have mentioned anything I've ever done. It was like, oh my God, you're going to be in The Lion King. It was like, whoa.
She's so beautiful.
That's so real too, though.
That's my baby.
Nobody better disrespect
Alfre.
the long lineage of Alfre Woodard
Facts.
in this game. Okay? But people might not have seen Down in the Delta and Loving Basketball. But she did
Holiday
it.
Heart.
Holiday Heart.
She's been in everything.
She's the second or third option for black mothers all over the place. Loretta Devine, Jennifer Lewis. We can't take away from that, but everything else, she's amazing. Come on.
So the big thing a lot of people were talking about is whether Beyonce was the reason why people went to go see The Lion King. And they were just talking about how big her star is and whether that affected, sales. They did have a great weekend. They are second to the Avengers for opening weekends this year. So obviously they did really great. But
I didn't get to see it.
I didn't get to see it either. I
also did not get to see it.
For me, it was a choice, though.
Oh, tell us why.
So.
Good luck.
Why you drink? Good luck. Good luck.
I feel like I'm about to do it and I say what I said or something, and I'm not.
Bon voyage.
No. I'm not going to say nothing crazy. It's just, I really loved the animated version.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I saw it on Broadway, and I thought it was great on Broadway. Even when I saw it on Broadway, which was masterful, I still was like, I really like the animated version. Yeah. And so I just wasn't ready to see a new one. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm not taking anything away from it.
I heard.
I'm just saying, it's hard for me to accept change. And I feel like there's so many things we could be doing new. I'm like, if something is beautiful and perfect, why
You're
we gotta
over
remake?
remakes
Yeah,
in general?
I'm just over remakes
And live
reboots.
actions.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no more live action tigers and lions and Zazoos, whatever he was. I'm good. We got an option to just not do it and keep it as it was. But I guess, for this new generation, for, live action, the lions don't even have the doe eyes. They look like lions.
The original beauty of The Lion King in his animated version is that they were cute characters. So it made sense for them to sing because Simba had little doe eyes and then Nala was adorable. Real lions are scary.
Yeah.
And they are killers. And it's hard to watch them sing because you're like,
doing interpretive pose.
It's hard
to watch them
sing
life is a traffic jam.
because they are not realistically going to ever sing and be like, you see them happy and with their families sometimes, but as soon as they see you, it's not like that.
Yeah, they don't wanna sing no
they're
more.
like, hello, what are you doing here?
Let's claw you.
There's no three-part harmonies.
Right.
And so it's harder to watch. But what I will say is that I love all the black people in the cast, man.
Yes.
The amount of black people, and then Shahadi, who was in Us, she played the daughter.
Yes.
She's also
She's
young
amazing.
Nala.
Yeah,
and she's so talented. So I'm happy that Disney remade this movie. And I think the reason why it was so big is because ABC and Disney, they rarely go wrong. I mean, ABC owns Marvel. They rarely do anything little. So the push behind this movie, the fact that we got Lion King, The Gift from Beyonce, where brown-skinned girls all over the world feel more important. I posted over the weekend this video of 6 African girls in their village.
Oh, that was
just
beautiful.
dancing and being pure. And they were so happy. On my Instagram, I literally, I saw it and immediately had to post it because what Beyonce did was bigger than music. She was like, I'm reaffirming, forget what society says, the closer to white the more pretty you are.
Right.
Even as a light-skinned woman, she was like, nah, brown-skinned women, though.
She shouted out Kelly.
She shouted out Kelly, she shouted out Lupita,
Yeah.
and there were so many women around the world. We all felt like, yes. So seeing those young babies who now have that different level of self-love and confidence, the biggest star in the world is saying your skin is beautiful, and them dancing, it was just like love.
I just didn't like the little all lives matter that was happening on the internet a little bit when people was trying to say, well, Beyonce didn't just mean brown-skinned girls and dark-skinned girls, she meant all girls. No, she meant, the song was very clear.
The song says brown-skinned girls.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty
quite
clear.
literally. And the video's blackity black.
Black as hell.
Right, and that's okay.
And she hired Blue Ivy as well. I don't know how she afforded
She hired her?
Yeah, I don't know how she afforded her.
I think she cut her break.
Yeah, she might be on retainer.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. Blue's very, she ain't the one.
Yeah, that's a talented kid right there. Let's check out what I folks on social media. We asked earlier, how much did Beyonce influence your decision to see The Lion King? Nisha2384 tweeted none. The Lion King as a classic, didn't matter who was in the cast, was still going to see it. Miss Mosaic 2 wrote, I haven't seen it yet, but I will. All the actors make me want to see it. Dope Black King on Twitter says, I would have seen the movie no matter what. B was just the icing on the cake. Tasha Howard says on Facebook, I didn't know Beyonce was in The Lion King.
What? You a lot.
Tasha Howard is.
Oh, maybe she was talking about the original.
Tasha, thank you. We thank you for your comment. We're glad that you're home from prison.
Oh!
That's the only way you could not know.
Rude.
Bro!
Rude.
There's no other way you could not know Beyonce was in The Lion King.
Well,
Is
I
if
mean,
you just came home from 23 and 1.
Shut up.
Shoe program.
That's not nice.
24-hour lockdown.
We just kidding.
You gonna do this to me?
Right.
We just kidding, Tosh. And so, no.
I'm putting cases on all.
You start training day. Come on now.
I mean, but y'all not about to do this to
That
one of
is-
our
hey,
viewers.
look, hey.
Tasha loves it.
We love her.
Anyway, but for real, I think no one is ever going to discredit Beyonce's star power.
No.
Her being a part of the movie absolutely helped.
She's the greatest entertainer in American history.
Literally, it absolutely helped it. Like it helped the narrative of the film. It helped push it. Like it made things more exciting. Without Beyonce, it does make things different. Now, me, I love to protect my childhood. Like there are certain things in it that I don't really want to unsee. So I'm
That's all
gonna go
I'm
buy
saying.
a ticket. I'm gonna go support.
Yeah.
You have to. You're in the Beehive.
I'm in the Beehive. I'm the treasurer. I've been since '96.
Oh.
And so at the end of the day,
There was some rumbling on the internet that you.
There was no rumbling.
Because you didn't go see it at the opening weekend.
I did
you-
not go see it opening weekend.
You didn't
but-
see Black Twitter. It was underneath.
No.
Yeah, they were
I'm
having a
definitely still
field day.
Beehive.
They were having a field
Literally
day.
on Friday, what was my Black Girl Magic breakdown? It was all about Beyonce and how we don't really get to see, how we don't really acknowledge the greatness that we are seeing unfolding
That's
every day.
true.
So
That's
you
true.
tried it.
And for the record, America, she made us watch Carmen the Hip Hopper.
Yo,
today
she's solidified.
in makeup, and I'm not joking.
And I was angry, but I understood. Yeah, you don't let them challenge you like that.
She was like, "Oh, we gonna get this work."
I love Beyonce, always, always, always. But I do love The Lion King as a story, and we'll see how it does.
I think it's
how
gonna do
plays
very
out.
It did.
well.
It's doing amazing.
And that soundtrack is doing even better. So
Fire.
I'm very, very happy for everybody involved. So we got one more thing we want to talk about.
Lord.
Y'all know we share a lot of opinions here at Black Coffee. Some are better than others.
Oh, God.
Mostly mine.
But there's a moment where one of us does a thing called "I said what I said."
shot
This
what I
is
shot.
this is where one of us takes the floor, and we get a whole minute to make an argument about anything we want. And nobody seems to thrive in this moment like young Jameer Paul. And so we've decided for some reason to let him do it again for 60 full seconds. He's gonna go off, and then we'll tell him whether we agree with him or whether we think he's insane. I already
What
disagree
in
with
the
him, and I don't know what he's going to say.
You don't
But-
want to die on that hill, bro.
I don't know what you're going to say, but
You
I'm
don't.
inclined to disagree. So can we put 60 seconds on the clock, please?
Go.
Go.
All right. So this has absolutely everything to do with Beyonce's star power, right? Because people seem to think that Beyonce could be stopped on her way to greatness. And I saw on Twitter recently this week that someone said if Aaliyah was still alive, Beyonce would not be the person who she was. And no disrespect to my queen, Aaliyah, you are amazing. Beyonce is one of one, a generational talent, and no one was stopping. Maybe Robert Townsend with Carmen the Hip Hopper.
Hey.
But outside of that, nobody was stopping her. She's talented on all facets of what she does, and she does everything really, 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 really great. Aaliyah, love her, but I don't feel like Aaliyah's singing would stop Beyonce singing at all in the least bit. Like, there's nobody stopping that, and I don't feel like anybody who is dead or alive could be the gatekeeper to Beyonce's success. She's amazing. She's Beyonce, and I think that's it. I have shared what I've shared.
I like it.
Can I ask two follow-up
like
questions?
it.
Can I ask two follow-up questions?
Yes, you can.
First one, what would Aaliyah be if Beyonce were?
Aaliyah would still
I would
be
love if you answered that
Aaliyah.
yourself, because you have a very nice saying that you said.
What would Aaliyah be? I'm just asking.
Per Mark Lamont Hill?
No, per Jameer Paul.
I think Aaliyah would have been an accomplished actress, which I do think she is better than Beyonce or she was. But I don't think when it comes to music that there's even a
You
comparison.
think there's room for both to be stars?
Absolutely.
Oh, hey guys. Hey, as a black woman here, there's not just one place where
But
a
that's-
black woman
that's
can
what
shine.
I'm saying.
Like that's my problem with the argument. you act like there isn't just that there isn't enough room for women in music, black women in music, to have their own lanes. Aaliyah and Beyonce were making different types of music. Aaliyah had Missy. Aaliyah had that whole sound, and Timbaland taking over. Beyonce was working with like Dark Child and Destiny's Child. They were still around at the same time. They were probably cool, or maybe not. I don't know. But at the end of the day, people pitting them against each other when Aaliyah isn't even here makes no sense at all.
I agree.
Like, no sense.
I think, I will say we do it with men too sometimes. Like people say like if Biggie hadn't died, if Biggie had stayed alive, Jay-Z wouldn't have become who he became.
That's true.
And I think it's equally ridiculous. And I think you can't underestimate how talented these people are, what their destiny is, and how no one can get in the way of your destiny.
Because if we're going to preach today, we can talk about how every person here breathing has a purpose, and at the end of the day, no obstacle, no nothing can stop you from what you're here to do. And so I don't feel like Beyonce would be any different than she is, and there would probably be times when Bey and Aaliyah were walking the same carpets and up for the same awards. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other.
Just like there's room for Beyonce and Rihanna.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
If they can coexist, like, I don't understand, why do people who pass away always have to be this one gatekeeper? Like, if they were here, oh no, Beyonce, you could not become a super. That's bullshit.
I mean, I do think there are moments where people are. There's a philosopher, Sidney Hook. He talks about the event-making man and the eventful man. And the eventful man is someone who sometimes gets caught up in the moment. Like something happens, like there's a protest, and a bunch of people get shot, and some person becomes a celebrity protester, who you might not otherwise know. And then there are people, the event-making man, or woman in this case, is somebody who doesn't just get swept up in the winds of history, but actually shapes history. Like you couldn't stop Martin Luther King.
No.
You just can't, right? He created his own thing. And I think Beyonce is an example of somebody who's event-making. Now, are there people who, in the middle of a crisis, those one-hit wonders, or people who, who if something else had been different, they wouldn't make it? Yes, I do believe that exists. But
like
the people,
Tekashi.
But the people we talking about here, these people, Beyonce, Aaliyah, Jay-Z, Biggie, Rihanna, all these are extraordinary people. So
you weren't gonna stop them.
I don't like this. You said one more thing though that I did have a question about. You said Beyonce does everything well.
I said everything in her realm, Now,
what's out of her realm?
I think what's out of her realm is probably sea walking. She don't look like she'd be a good crip walker.
Okay. How about acting?
Okay, well, acting, I think, the queen needs maybe just a little more lessons. But I think she's on her way to a promising... Okay, I can't even do it. All right, look. I didn't like Carmen the Hip Opera. It was bad, but
It was not bad.
It wasn't good.
I love Carmen.
But
I did too. I thought it was great.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Stop lying.
You hated it.
I like Beyonce in it. I didn't like the rest of it.
You didn't like nobody in it. Stop.
It's a cult classic, and it was literally a product of the 2000s.
I'm holding on to that.
Everybody had cornrows. Bow Wow was in it. Everybody was in it. Reagan Gomez. It was fun.
I think I'm just holding on to that. I'm holding on to Carmen the Hip Opera.
You gotta let that go. I
have to let it go.
I think Beyonce's growing into a very talented actress.
I think so.
I think it's a trajectory. So I wouldn't say that she does everything great. I think she does most things incredible, and I think she's growing into a great actress.
I think that's the only thing, though.
I think she will get. I will say this. I think before the end of her career, Beyonce's going to get an Oscar.
I think Beyonce is going to
for
absolutely
acting,
be an EGOT.
Okay.
I think before the end of her career, Beyonce will get an. And I know it's actually probably
it's believable.
It's absolutely possible, but it's not the most black people don't get Oscars.
Well, here's what
I think she will though.
Yeah, yes, and I think Beyonce's going to be an EGOT very soon, and I think the first Oscar will come from this Lion King.
Of course,
you think from
soundtrack.
The soundtrack.
Yeah, I definitely do. Just because it's Fire Flames
and black as hell.
And so I think they have to maybe you know what? It is a little black, so who knows?
A little black,
but I think this is the year for black. I think
that's what I'm saying.
But
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see because we thought it was the year for the Emmys, and there were more black people nominated last year than this year. So we'll see. But what I'll say about Beyonce is that she always shows up willing and ready, and she gives her all.
She does.
You never watch a project, you never watch her on stage, you never watch her anywhere without her showing up fully and trying. Like, she learns, she is hungry for this game still 20 years in. And so for me, I understand why people might have that argument, but as a longtime Beehiver, whatever B does, I'm gonna support.
Me too.
And that's that. I love her. She's just great.
I know you feel the same way. No, I will support it. Like I said, I love watching the growth. I love watching from Carmen the Hip Hopper. I thought by the time you got to Dreamgirls, I thought it was incredible. I mean, I think
Dream Girls was a
it's definitely a
production,
change.
man.
that's what I'm saying. I think she's really growing into an amazing. And I, for me, as somebody before we run who loves watching growth, for me that's sometimes more amazing to watch somebody work really hard and become great. Like I watch people who are good lyricists become amazing lyricists, and that to me is sometimes admirable.
You gotta have time.
Beyonce's literally to me the greatest entertainer America has ever seen, and I'm putting up there with James Brown. I'm putting up there with Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. I mean, there's some people up there, and I think she's on the same tier. And I would actually put Beyonce a step above them for a lot of reasons. So for me to watch. When I watch people that great, she acts better than Michael Jackson. She acts better than Elvis Presley. She acts better than James Brown. I mean, so when you look at even the greatest entertainers, you know what I mean? It's like saying Michael Jordan don't shoot threes. It's like, shit, if Michael Jordan can shoot 35% from three, I'm like...
It's still Michael Jordan.
Right, and that's still, he's, you know. So for me, it's just amazing to watch. Anyway, that's enough Beyonce love. She deserves all of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We love you, Beyonce.
I love Beyonce.
Beyonce, we love you so much here at the show. Please come.
All right, before we go, I just want to take one last look at the comments that came in about Beyonce and the Lion King. We had Susan Eber Bowman on Facebook saying she's awesome, but I can't say she influenced me seeing it. Sorry, B, can't give you credit for this one, but you are still the queen.
Shawly is.
Just not the Lion Queen. Amanda Chandler on Facebook said, James Earl Jones influenced me when he was in his 60s, when the cartoon first came out, or in the 60s, I guess, and now he's 88 with the same voice. Everyone wants to put Beyonce on a high, and by all means, there are people who are still living way better than she is. There are young people who can act and sing better.
Ooh, this is
She can, no different than the next. I don't fully understand the comment in terms of what the argument is.
She's saying that there's people just as talented as her.
Or more talented.
Yeah, I disagree. Again, there's this idea. The two things people say is, if so-and-so had lived, you wouldn't be popping.
Which is insane.
And the second argument is, there's a lot of people. You said that basketball. There's a bunch of people at Rucker Park that can play like Michael Jordan. No, there's not.
No.
I don't care what your Uber driver tells you.
Your handle
he was
could be
not
crazy.
dropping 50 in the 70s, and all he needed was one more shot. He'd have beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. No, he was not. He was a tall-ass Uber driver. And back then, he was a tall-ass taxi driver. That's what it is.
With a cool nickname,
With a cool nickname.
Yeah.
He might have
Handles.
Flat.
Handles, cornbread.
Cornbread. I used to eat him up on the court.
But nobody
Eat him up.
does what Beyonce does. Are there people who sing better than Beyonce? Sure. Are there people who dance better than Beyonce? Maybe. I said maybe. Like in the world, there might be somebody in some African village who can dance better than Beyonce.
Real talented
but what I'm saying is, there is nobody who does everything Beyonce does as a conglomerate of activities and talents. Nobody does what Beyonce does, and to pretend that there's people out there who are just where they at though. Show me one.
She's the total
I want
package,
you,
man.
with all due respect, to write into the show and let us know tomorrow. Hashtag Black Coffee Live, is that right?
Yeah.
Hashtag Black Coffee Live, and let us know who this person is in the world.
You gotta name the qualifications though.
Right, and don't tell me your auntie. Don't tell me your auntie Booby or Ruby or whatever her name is. I'm talking about somebody we can prove, unless you have video, who can sing, dance, act, choreograph, have the kind of stage presence, who can. Why am my voice is trembling? I'm getting my Terrence Howard.
Man.
Look, man.
You're just passionate.
And also, it's still black.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's still black in the...
Puts on for the culture.
Like, literally, the top mainstream singer, entertainer, but still black. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can find them.
I don't know if you have
Because
that.
they don't exist.
Not the total package.
She's one of one. Anyway, Suave7 on Facebook said, not at all. I want to see how they transformed it, which is not taking credit away from her or anyone. The advertising made me aware, which was pushed by her. So as a collective, it all worked out for the show's success. That's how I see it, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love y'all, even when y'all say stuff we don't agree with. Keep the comments coming in. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at BET Black Coffee so you can watch all the episodes every single day. We've got great conversations on there with Bernie Sanders, Trina, Irv Gotti, Ilhan Omar. We run the gamut. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Right now, we're headed over to Twitter ourselves for the after show. It's called Black Coffee to Refill. I'll be making fun of Jameer. Come with us.
What the hell?
Yeah,
How do we get... Because...